It's another beautiful morning, and you know what time it is. It's our time for newspaper review television. I am Jacob Deborah, and I'm not always so alone. I'm always with my able barrister. You know, I always call him able barrister. The law, aka. How are you, sir? Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, Deborah.
You are looking good. We actually agreed that we're going to be both putting on our native, but my barrister left me behind, and he did not give me heads up. But no, it's fine. But how you're doing?
I'm doing very well. Another time.
Another time.
We'll
Okay,
plan
no
the
problem.
native.
I'm not angry with you. Okay, to all our viewers out there, do stay glued to your screen. If you're on your way to work, you're already at work like me, or you are still at home resting, do stay glued to your screen, even as we'll be diving into some issues that are touching technology, science, education, innovation, and sports, even every other information you could think of. As far as it's driving on the lips of Nigerians, it matters to us. First of all, I would like to say a very, 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 would I say this is celebration for all iPhone users, because iPhone, again, has come out with another new iPhone. We heard that Apple to unveil its new iPhone watches and iPhone upgrades at September 9 event. One of the tech news we'll be looking at. But let's dive into the main news. We see that Apple has confirmed it will host its annual full event on September 9 at the Steve Jobs Theater in California, where the company is expected to showcase a new lineup of iPhones, Apple Watches, iPod Pros, and upgraded version of Pros headsets. Media reports suggest that Apple may also doubt a similar iPhone, possibly branded as iPhone Air, in line with its MacBook Air and iPad Air series. This year event is expected to highlight Apple push into artificial intelligence. And the good thing about this particular innovation is that Apple's new iPhone is called iPhone Air. Beyond the name iPhone Air, it's, according to what we're hearing, it's an upgraded artificial intelligence phone that tracks health, tracks your movement, your life, and can actually help you with Siri's better Siri, because I think other iPhone actually have Siri, but this particular Siri can actually have a communication, a serious communication with you that will be comfortable with. It will be like communicating with a human being, and iPhone is always there when it comes to artificial intelligence and all of these technology improvements. iPhone is always topping the bar, as well as Samsung and other phones. But it's a beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful thing for iPhone users. What do you think, sir?
Yeah, so innovation happens all the time. You know, in the world of smartphones and gadgets, you know, every company wants to bring in a new gadget, bring in new technology. You know, I think iPhone 16. You know, iPhones, they just came out recently, like last year and all. So iPhone is upping the game. And like you noted, the major innovation in this one is the artificial intelligence features that will be added to the new iPhone.
Yes.
And it's going to be a game changer. I think you have companies like Huawei and Samsung also. They are looking at bringing in artificial intelligence to their latest gadgets, to their latest products. So as we always say, artificial intelligence is taking over the world. You know, everybody is looking into how to get more of artificial intelligence in their products, in their companies, in their institutions, in their nations. You know, so iPhone doesn't want to be left out, and it's a good one for people that love to use iPhone. You know, for people that love Samsung like me. We're also waiting for Samsung to release its own phone that has artificial intelligence to see how we can get that. You know, so everything all around the human world should be happy that this innovation is taking place. Hopefully, we don't get to see the disadvantages, more of the disadvantages than the advantages. We just hope that this innovation will give us be more advantageous to the human race. We'll be able to use these gadgets to better our well-being. You know, and for those that like to swag with iPhone, once it's September 9th, which you know Nigerians will already start
there
well,
are videos.
I'm sure some people have already started pre-ordering the iPhone now. So by September 9th, before you know it's October, you'll see some people with this iPhone Air on there, and you'll be wondering how did they get this phone so soon. So it's a good one for iPhone users. Hopefully. I'm also getting other smartphones
like Samsung.
Samsung, yes, like Samsung. While
so that Samsung users will not be left out.
Yes, will not be left out as well.
And like you said, you mentioned something about the disadvantages. The first thing I looked at when I saw this news was the fact that the Siri communication was going to get better, like speaking to a human being. Yeah. You know, it brings up concerns like we human beings now trying to be dependent on talking to Siri than talking to our fellow human beings. And that brings us to our next news, actually. We see that OpenAI faces lawsuit over teen suicide linked to ChatGPT. The full story says that the parents of a 16-year-old Adam Raine, who died by suicide in April, have filed a lawsuit against OpenAI and CEO Sam Altman, alleging that ChatGPT provided him with a detailed instruction of self-harm and even offered to draft a suicide note filed in a San Francisco court. The case accuses OpenAI of prioritizing profit over safety when launching ChatGPT 4o, claiming that the chatbot lacks empathy and memory features, engage vulnerable users without adequate safeguarding. You know, like I said, Siri on the other hand, OpenAI, ChatGPT and all of that, having conversations with human beings, this actually is one of the disadvantages we see when it comes to using ChatGPT or the Siri and all of that. We hear that so many people, we see situations that so many teenagers or even adults, funny enough, you're so shocked to find out that adults do this. Go to meet Siri, go to meet ChatGPT to explain what they're going through, their relationship issues, their family issues, and expect that this particular chatbot will give them workable solutions to these particular problems they face in their normal human life. So now they've seen beyond work. They've seen it. They've seen AI beyond helping them in improving technology when it comes to health, education, and all of that. They are now seeing them as companions.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think we're having this discussion in one of our programs on air. It actually flies on air on Tuesdays. I think it flies. One of them came up yesterday. Flies on air on Tuesdays and Thursdays, if I'm not mistaken. And one of the discussions we're having is OpenAI and Siri. Let's bring out Siri and our mother's voice. Which do children now listen to? And it's one of the biggest. It's one of the most biggest topic that we should actually be talking about in Nigeria. Because and not just in Nigeria, but in Africa and as well the world. Because, like we said, AI is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And if AI will be affecting our children in the wrong way, what then do we do? And as a social speaker, I feel like you should speak on it from your own social point of view.
Yes, one thing that we cannot take away from the world now is that humans need to have human companionship. No technology should be able to take away human companionship. You get? So, so these are one of the disadvantages that we need to tackle in terms of technology. Technology should not take away human companionship. You see, like this story you just read now, it says maybe he probably spoke to ChatGPT and he said ways to die, you know, how to commit suicide. And you know, ChatGPT being a robot, he will give you, he has all the answers, he will lead you and give you. So one of the ways that I think we should look at is parents, institutions needs to look at a way of telling this technology and all of that, how do we restrict its use? How do we bring in safety measures so that this technology doesn't impact the lives of our young ones, doesn't impact our own lives? For example, if someone puts, how can we commit suicide? Rather than ChatGPT or Siri giving you the options, you say, no, I can't answer this question because I'm all here for your well-being. I mean, there are prompts that they can insert into this kind of technology. But that it boils down to companionship. Human beings, we need to look at ourselves and let us not allow technology take that human companionship space. That I and Deborah should be able to interact. If I need companionship, I should be able to go to Deborah and say, I want to talk to you. Not that I should be looking at a technology and beginning to say, oh no, I need and which is what was happening in today's world. I remember my siblings one time, we were in the parlor. Everybody was with their tab and with their phones. Even me, I was with my phone. I was looking at some. I just said to myself, we're all in the parlor here. As a family, we're supposed to be having everybody looking at their tab. I just dropped my tab and just started discussing because that is what brings genuine happiness. Not when you begin to look at your tabs, begin to play with your phone and all of that. So let us seek human companionship more than this technology, this. And just to comment on the legal aspect of that, you know, they said they sued I don't know how far that will go. I don't think it's going to succeed, really. Because the court, the defendant, that's Sam Altman, the CEO, will probably say it's a technology that they just created. They could have garbage in is what you put into put in that it will give out to you. All they can say is maybe they will put in more restrictions. But as to the success of that legal the legal angle, I don't think it will succeed. That's my own personal view. I'm not in the USA, but looking at it from a Nigerian lawyer's perspective, I don't think it will succeed.
So overall, I think that this shows the importance of balancing innovation and responsibility. AI is powerful and AI is here to stay. AI have its advantages, but we must try our best to harness the advantages than its disadvantages, and try to reduce its disadvantages at any way possible that we can actually do that from every point of view. The government, the tech companies, our parents at home. Try to reduce the way your children go on screen time. Try to reduce the way your children communicate with this series. The tech companies, like our lawyer says, our barrister said, you must try to put restrictions to these questions being asked and the answers being given by these chatbots. And also the government must actually look at this as a very serious issue, because it's a very serious issue. It has to do with the mental state of every citizen in your country, so it's a serious issue. So up to our next tech news, we see that SpaceX Starship achieves key milestone with satellite deployment on heat shield test. We see that SpaceX Starship's rocket successfully deployed its first batch of mock Starlink satellites on Tuesday. That's yesterday, marking a major milestone after previous testing setback. We see that 403-foot tall Starship system lifted off from SpaceX Starbase in Texas, with its super heavy booster releasing the upper stage into space minutes later. After 30 minutes into the flight, Starship Pears-like system deployed 8 dummy satellites, demonstrating a crucial capability of the company's future launch operation. This is a milestone. In short, we are saying that the flight was a major milestone, showing the progress after several years of failure. Elon Musk is closer to his vision of routine space travel. This success moved humanity closer to affordable routine space travel, not just for satellites, but potentially for humans to explore and live on other planets. In short, Starship isn't just another rocket. It is a platform that could change how we access space and connect the world's digitality, and also even make life on other planets possible. It's a good milestone here by Elon Musk. I like the fact that Americans do not give up. No matter how
Yeah.
much they try, they do not give up. They can try 100 times. As far as it's going to, they know that this particular thing is going to produce something tangible. They'll keep trying
They'll
till
keep
they
trying.
get it. Even if they die, they might pass it to their next generation to keep trying on that particular um, 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 whatever they are doing and all of that project and all of that. And I'm happy. I want to see projects like that in Nigeria where we will not give up. You know, giving up in Nigeria is more easier. People feel like doing things, if this one don't work, the other one will work. But it's possible that that one will work. And to stay on it, time actually matters a lot when it comes to doing something innovative. Time matters a lot. Time tells how you've traveled from nothing into something. That's what tells success and all of that. Like I said, this is a big opening for the educational system, for like Elon Musk said, for the ability for human beings to live in order. But that's where I want to come in. On your own point of view, in your own point of view, would you love to live in the moon?
Me, I'm to occupy the earth. Let me occupy the earth first before.
Because now I'm thinking of living in other planets.
Yes, and it's one of his biggest dreams that he always says it in his interviews. If you read books on him, he will tell you one of his biggest goal is for man to be able to live, especially on Mars. You know, Mars has been described as one of the most, one of the planets that should be habitable for human beings to live on. And you know, this SpaceX carrying out this project and it's being successful after a lot of failures. It brings them a step closer to space travel, you know, man being able to travel to space, you know, just like how we have airplanes flying from one country to the other. Man wants to have the ability to move from Earth to Mars, you know, and from Mars back to Earth. It's, you know, one thing I always say is when it comes to man's ability, I don't doubt his ability. You know, God has given us this innate ability to create, to innovate. So whatever they are doing, they should keep on doing it. I don't know how possible it will be for us to be able to live on Mars. Maybe time will tell, like you said, you know, and they don't give up. But me, really, if I'm to choose between living on Mars, I would let me live on Earth first. Maybe we can travel once in a while when the money is right to go to space and all of that. Space travel, you know, is a good to see the other side of the world. You know? So congratulations to SpaceX. Now bringing it down to Nigeria
And Africa.
and Africa in general. This is what we want to see, like innovation, you know. Let people also have this desire that, look, we want to improve on space travel. It's not beyond Africa's ability. We have this ability. Even Elon Musk is even an African. If you look at it, he's South African who just moved to USA moved to Canada, then the USA, you know, because of the environment there. The environment promotes creativity. You see, when Africa is able to have that environment that improves creativity, you know, people will be able to think and create and innovate.
Yes.
So our leaders, institutions, we need to create that environment that improves creativity. You can't expect somebody that is still looking for food to eat. He is hungry. All his mind will be, let me find food to eat first. You know, but in Western countries, they've dealt with the problem of food.
Yeah.
They've dealt with the problem of housing. They've dealt with some of the major problems security that makes people not to. So you can actually sit down and look for more problems to solve because you've dealt with the basic problems. So that's how you begin to think of how to innovate, how to improve your world, how to improve systems. So Africa needs to deal with the basics. Then you begin to see that people will be more creative. People will have this ability and all of that. But it's not beyond Africa's ability. God willing, a time is going to come where Africa too will take the lead in terms of space travel, in terms of technology, in terms of innovation and all of that. Very, very soon, hopefully.
You know, this brings us down to, like you said, education, it just brings us all boils down to our educational system. And looking at it from our educational system, I think when I was trying to research, I found out that I came across the fact that we have universities that actually foster STEM education
Yes.
and all of this. And like we always say, partnership matters a lot when it comes,
yeah.
and collaboration matters a lot when it comes to innovation.
Yeah.
Innovation cannot just be done by one person.
Yeah.
And seeing our educational system, I can't wait for our educational system to start tackling serious issues
Yeah.
than just the normal ones we know. Serious issues, not just since we're walking into a technology world, like we always say, well, AI is going everywhere. And if this is a milestone for someone in the US, I think we should start looking for a way that educational systems are conducive enough, STEM educational systems are conducive and well facilitated for our students. Scholarship are being made for this kind of students that have their build their joy in AI intelligence and builds joy in creating new innovations and creating new technologies that would actually hit the world one day. And like you said, this man has been trying for a long time. So that means he might have not thought of the things he thought of when he actually made this milestone. He might have thought of other things, it didn't work. He thought of another thing, it didn't work. So there are students like that in Nigeria, but how possible is it? First of all, our educational system is seriously suffering in Nigeria when it comes to having good good technology systems that can actually foster these ideas.
Yes.
And like we said, we always have the ideas. Nigeria, or Africa as a whole, is embedded with ideas.
The ability is there, ideas is there, everything is there. It's just the right environment. And one of the things that amazes me is, I was discussing with a friend of mine. I said, even the people that are innovative in terms of our science and technology, you see, most of them, they want to go out. They want to leave the country. Because either they find the environment too choking, or they feel like their ability is not being
it's not being
harnessed here in Nigeria. So they rather want to go to Western countries to go and harness their ideas properly. So it behoves on us that, look, we as a society, we need to create an enabling environment for technology to thrive. You know, just as you pointed out, our educational system, we have STEM education, all those, they are all here, but how these systems that we've created here, can they actually be fostered? Can they actually, how advantageous would they be to people? If a person says, I want to stay in Nigeria and I want to build a spaceship here in Nigeria, will it be advantageous to him? Is there an environment for him to actually do that kind of technology here? No, he will be thinking, oh, Nigeria doesn't have that ability yet. Let me just go to the Western world to see how creativity can be well fostered and all of that. So let's create that enabling environment in Nigeria and in Africa, and you'll see that people will come out and people will thrive, even in this space sector that we are talking about that seems so big and so enormous.
We have people.
We have people.
We have the great minds in Africa.
Yes.
We have them.
Yeah.
Okay, moving to our newspaper review, our main newspaper front page. We see that U.S. court jails Osun monarch over $4.2 million COVID-19 fraud in page 29. When I saw the story, I was like, really? Really? A monarch? And he pleaded guilty.
Yes, when the evidence,
there was evidence. Of course, you know. It's the evidence choke. But it just shows that you, as a citizen of Nigeria, you should know that you carry the name, or the identity of your country whenever you move to any other place. Yeah. They will always see you as a Nigerian. In fact, the news, the way the person, a Nigerian monarch, a Nigerian monarch of Osun State, the way they put the news, they had to bring it down and tell you that you're a Nigerian. This just shows that he doesn't only put out his name. They didn't just put his name on the news. You're carrying the identity of your country. And whatever you do in any other place, And trust the US. You know they would always find. It's not like Nigeria will try to cover some things. They would always get you, and you would always be brought to justice.
Yes.
And they would always do their research, because they would not come out and take you to court for nothing.
Yeah.
They would always have some tangible things to be able to present to the court. And presented, it was found that
he pleading guilty is already a stain on his and it's so sad that
it's a stain on all of us.
He's not just an ordinary citizen, a monarch. It's someone who is a custodian of culture, you know, a custodian of our traditions, of our values. Is the one that went to the US and was caught committing a crime and all of that. And he didn't just, he couldn't even defend himself, or he had to plead guilty. You get? So it's sad. And it just tells us that as Nigerians, like you said, we're ambassadors of this country. Anywhere we're at, we should try and do good. You know, there's something I always do. Whenever I go to a guest's house, like a visitor, anytime I go to a person's house, I try to behave myself. I try to comport myself more, you know, so that the guest, my host rather, will not see me as a vagabond. But it seems like Nigerians, some of us, not all Nigerians, when we go to another country and all of that, we carry this mentality that we can go and do anything there. And it's bad. It's a terrible reputation for the country. Before you know it, Donald Trump, now the US president, will begin to ban some countries from not entering and you add Nigeria to the list of countries that, you know, some countries will begin to, some countries are already wary of Nigerians coming into their shores. More countries will begin to look at us and say, look, we shouldn't allow Nigerians in, we shouldn't give them the latitude to do whatever they want. And so it's so sad. I pray that the rest of us will learn from this, especially the other monarchs. They will learn from this, and it's not like in Nigeria where anything goes, you know. You are a king, you can begin to, you maybe call one or two persons and they will free you. But in US, they caught him and he faced justice. And
immediately, that's like I said, they do not waste time when it comes to bringing people to justice. And they would always have evidence for it, proper evidence for it. In other news, we see that yesterday news, the presidential ticket of the PDP group has come out, and PDP finally has given its ticket to the South. The South.
The South. So
people were expecting it to be the North. But when I went on Facebook, so many people said this was going to cause an issue. That now people feel, Nigerians, when, like I said, I went through some comments on Facebook, and some Nigerians feel like the PDP giving its tickets to the South gives them an upper hand against Tinubu in the next 2027 election. That it gives them an upper hand to win against him because of its zoning to a particular geographical zone. Now my question is, when it comes to zoning a particular ticket, is it the geographical zoning or the person in particular?
You see, me, I've never been a fan of this zoning and, you know, zone to this region, zone to that region. Let the best man just win. You know, whether it's the South or the North. Let it just be. I don't know, Nigeria, and it's not in the constitution that political parties need to zone the presidency from North to South, not all this Northern and Southern. It's just something that these political parties came up to settle differences and all of that. And I just asked myself that in the PDP, if Atiku Abubakar, maybe a strong northern politician like Atiku Abubakar, was still in the PDP, would they have zoned it to the South? Wouldn't they want to still leave it open? Because they will say, oh, Atiku Abubakar is a big money spender, he might win the ticket and all of that. Why didn't they zone it to the South in the last election, 2023 election? Why did they still leave it in the... It's because Atiku Abubakar has gone to the ADC. Now they are looking at, oh, who can we lure in? Maybe they want to lure in Peter Obi to come back to the PDP and contest. He's a Southerner. Tinubu also being a Southerner. So it's all, like you said, it's all politics being at play, you know, calculations being made for 2027 elections. Like I always say, my own is let the best man for the job come out to contest, whether it be a Northerner, whether it be a Southerner, Easterner, Westerner, anybody in all geopolitical zones. Let us have the best man. I don't mind a Northerner ruling me. Yes. I don't mind a Southerner ruling me. I don't mind, as long as there are people that can get the job done. I've never been an advocate for oh, we need to zone to this person, we need to, is a Muslim, is a Christian, is this. I don't mind. I don't mind. When it comes to politics and governance, what is your capability that matters to me?
Yeah.
And that is what every Nigerian should also should be looking at. Because
Instead
at
of
the end of the day,
tribalism.
when you even zone it to the south, some people even say, it should be southeastern, it should be southwestern, it should be southsouthern. When you even zone it again, zone it to southwest, oh, it's an Ogun manstone, it's an Ondo manstone. You know, all those things are just differences that don't need to we don't need to put out there. You know, let the best man for the job just come in and win. That's my own take on that.
Yes, sir. So in other news front page, we see that in Vanguard front page newspaper that Nigerian Dan Shuhu elected vice president of the global ports body in page 9. And we also see above it in page 19, Tinubu imposes 6-month ban on the export of raw shea nuts. We also see beneath it that Osun drags federal government to Supreme Court over withheld local government allocation. On the big headline, the presidency, Northern Blocks opposes PDP zoning tickets to the south in page 5. We also see in page 6 that passengers scampers as Abuja Kaduna train derails. We also see beneath it that third mainland bridge mishap. Police FRSC differs in page 10 of that newspaper. Moving to the next newspaper, we see in the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper that ASU says patients with federal government's runs thin as protests sweep campuses in page 4. We also see that court orders 6 banks to finish IGP in the account details linked to SOWO in page 11. We also see the big headline that Osun takes federal government to Supreme Court over withheld local government allocation. Page 3. What do you have to say about this?
Yes, I don't know the battle between state and federal government as regards local government allocation. You know, there's this local government autonomy that is being pushed now. That local government should have autonomy different from that of the state government. You know, because most times these local governments are just like vassals of the state governments. You know, governors will just sit over this local government allocation. You know, they can. You know, so the local governments now, it has been said that the local government should have autonomy different from the state government. You know, so that the state government will not subjugate local government. One of the ways that this local government can have autonomy is for them to be getting their allocation directly from the federal government and not from the state government, you know. But state governments will always want to fight this because, number one, their allocation is being reduced, their monetary budget and all of that is being reduced. And again, state governors want to subjugate the local government. They want to be the ones in charge of the local government, you know, being able to pick the chairman, you know, let this person be the chairman, let this person be the councillor of the local government and all of that. But local government autonomy is something that Nigeria needs to make happen. You know, the importance of a local government cannot be overemphasized. Local government is the government that is closest to the people. Yes. Federal government cannot do everything. There are some roads that you cannot think of the federal government coming to do. It's the local government that has to do it. All these small roads, all these small roads and all of that. It's the local government that has to do that. So local government needs to have its own budgetary allocation. They need to have autonomy different from the states. Let the states do what the states are supposed to do, maybe on the concurrent list and all of that. But local government should have their own autonomy different from the state government. Please and please, that I'm just pleading. I'm pleading with whoever. I'm pleading with the federal government. I'm pleading. Let the local government, the 774 of them, let them have autonomy different from state, because the state governors have really, really messed up local governments in Nigeria. They've really messed up. Nobody even knows who their local government chairman is. Nobody knows. Nobody really cares about who their local government chairman is, because everybody just looks at the state government and then the federal government. So local government autonomy, them having their own federal budgetary allocation directly from the federal government is a good one for me.
Okay. In other news and a big win, we have seen that Dangote Petroleum Refinery now has its capacity to supply diesel and aviation fuel to West Africa and Central Africa, reducing the region's reliance on imports from Europe and other countries since ramping up production. The refinery has exported significant quantities of diesels and jet fuels, ramping regional trade flows. Loms Togo serves as a key hub for distributing fuel and regional buyers, especially in Nigerian marketers, while the European demand has softened. Outreach or maintenance at Dangote's refinery can still cause price volatility, highlighting the refinery growing importance of Atlantic basin. Like I said, this is a major move. This is something that Dangote has been looking at, just like Elon Musk that we looked at. We said he has been trying to get a win-win on a particular innovation. Dangote himself, when it comes to fuel importation, he has always pushed for the idea that Africa and Nigeria stop importing most of their fuels from outside to reduce cost and all of the other things included in this fuel importation. And like I said, this is a big win and a big move for the Dangote refinery, and a big move for Nigeria as a whole, standing amongst African countries, that we are being the one to push forward this innovative idea.
Yes, yes. So if there's one person that I really admire in terms of his doggedness is Aliko Dangote. You know,
the man is always ready.
He's always, and he's very dogged. He's willing to fight, because the battles he has fought to make this his refinery work, it's a lot. And I remember when he announced that he wanted to build a refinery, you know, most people doubted his ability, because we had no functioning refinery in Nigeria. Or even government had failed so many times in terms of building functioning refineries for Nigerians. But he came on board. He has started the refinery now. He's collaborating with a lot of people. He's trying to see how the products can be brought down. The price of these products can be brought down, you know. And he's doing a lot of work on this. It just pains me that he's the only one that is the only his refinery that is working for now, because I don't know the capacity of the Dangote refinery. I don't know if they will be able to fuel the whole of Nigeria and the whole of Africa at large. You know, but we actually need more people, more refineries to come into play. Nigeria is a big country. I mean, for an oil-producing country, it will shock you the amount of refineries that are functioning refineries in US. They have a lot of refineries. Go to Russia, you see a lot of private individuals with their refineries. But in Nigeria, we have just one major functioning refineries. Because I said major because there might be minor refineries here and there that are running their belts. At least the major one that we know of is the Dangote refinery, and it's been the one pushing for that we should rather than us exporting our crude and importing back the refined products, that we should refine our own crude and spread amongst ourselves, then also export the refined produce, which is what will boost our economy, which is what will boost, it will help our economy to grow in significant ways. So it's a good one for me. Let us see how we can also, Nigeria now, let us see how it can also partner with other African nations, you know, to export this produce, and it will also bring back capital into the country, bring money into the country, and also create jobs for the teeming youths. You know, when he brought in the refinery, I learned a lot of people got jobs and all of that.
That actually also pulls out for job creation and all of that in Nigeria and Africa as a whole, because like I said, we're looking at Africa. This is a big win for Africa. Africans to actually have this, it also brings private investment. People believe now, like you said, we didn't believe this could be possible because of so many other failures that we've had. But with this, there's every possibility that other refineries, like you've urged, that other private investors actually, and the government actually think about raising other refineries, because this work cannot be done by one person alone. Let's just tell ourselves the truth. No matter how much he tries his best, this work cannot be done by one person alone. It has to be done by so many other people. So we want to see people partnering with Dangote. Want to see people trying to have meetings when it comes to fuel refinery and all of that. Want to see people, investors, meeting together, trying to push the investment when it comes to fuel refinery. This is a man who has come with this idea. He has been building on this idea right from when people did not even believe in the idea, and he has made it possible. So we want to see other people actually buy into this idea and make it a bigger win for Africa and Nigeria, because I like calling Nigeria. He's a Nigerian first before he's an African.
Yeah.
So yes, as Africa and as a Nigerian man, we want to see other people buying into this idea. We've come to a close of our newspaper review. We brought you news from Vanguard newspaper front page, where we saw that Presidency Northern Blocks opposes PDP zoning tickets to the south. We also saw the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper that Osun takes federal government to Supreme Court over withheld local government allocation. We also saw the Daily Times newspaper front page that NESA hands over 128 rescued kidnappers victims to Zamfara government in page 2. And we looked at the front page of our Punch newspaper that 2027 PDP ticket zoning to the south split note in page 2 of that newspaper. And we looked into our tech news, where we saw that Apple to unveil new iPhone watches and iPhone upgrades at September 9 event. We also looked into the news of OpenAI faces lawsuit over teen suicide linked to ChatGPT. And the last tech news we took on that row was the SpaceX Starship archive, key milestone with satellite deployment and heat shield test by Elon Musk. And like I said, and I will always say, thank you very much to our guest who has always made his presence available for us and his wisdom overflowing for us to all drink from. Thank you very much, sir, for making yourself available. And to all our viewers out there, thank you very much for staying glued to your screen. Do not forget to like, share, comment, and also stay glued to your screen for other innovative programs that will be coming after now. Remember, I am Jacobs Deborah, your able host. And like I would always say, stay informed, stay safe. Bye for now.